Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. Earlier this year, Janice and I were in Naples in Italy. Now, I've been there a few times before. There's lots of great places to go and see. You can go up the Sorrento and the Amalfi Coast. You can go and see Pompeii. But we had the opportunity to visit the Bourbon Tunnel. The Bourbon Tunnel runs underneath the city of Naples. There's basically two hills in Naples, and this tunnel connects those two hills running underneath the streets. During World War II, it provided shelter for thousands of people who literally lived down in the tunnels to avoid the bombing of the city during the Second World War. It also became a place where the police stored confiscated motor vehicles. Vehicles that were illegally parked and that nobody claimed, or had been used in crimes, or had been illegally modified and weren't actually street legal. They actually stored them in these tunnels, and it's great. You can walk through these tunnels and come across these old cars from like 40 years ago, these motorcycles and things like this. Absolutely fascinating. But it was also used as a rubbish dump. And one of the things that turned up in these tunnels underneath the city was this huge statue of Aurelio Padovani. And Aurelio Padovani was an early fascist leader in Naples in the 1930s. He ended up falling foul of Mussolini because Mussolini saw this guy as a threat to his own position, and he ended up dying in very suspicious circumstances when he was on a balcony, and the balcony suddenly collapsed underneath him, and a lot of people blamed Mussolini for that. But here's the funny thing. You look at the statue and you think, wow, this was a really impressive looking guy. I mean, he's strikingly handsome on this statue. He's got amazing muscles. I mean, he's like a cage fighter or something with all these muscles. It's incredible. And then if you go into the real historical records, not a statue, you can find photographs of this chap, and he's totally different. He's insignificant looking, balding, rather skinny with a pot belly. He certainly wasn't the handsome, muscled guy of the statue. And you know, the same is probably true of many historical figures. We have statues of them, but do the statues show what they were really like, or what they wanted people to think they looked like? Because we all have a tendency to want people to think better of us than we really are. I guess we all do that a little bit. You know, whenever we first go out with somebody on a date, we act really polite, and we dress up, and we put all the best aftershave on and everything else to try and give the impression of what a great person we are. And probably when we've been married 10 years, we actually don't put that same aftershave on and don't take as much care in our appearance. But you know what? We still try to keep as close as we can to the truth and the reality. We try to put our best self forward, but we don't pretend to be something we're not unless we've got a real problem inside us, which very often tyrants and dictators have. And so down through the years, tyrants and dictators have commissioned statues that made them look nothing like them real selves, but made them look more like Greek gods. And you even get that today with politicians, where an obese politician will tweet out a picture of where in this picture he's got some photo-touched body that's ripping with muscles and everything else. That's what tyrants and dictators do. But you know, we don't need to try and convince people that we're something we're not, because sooner or later they will see us as we really are. I've always wondered about these people that use these dating apps, and they use photographs of other people that look much better than they do. And what do they think is going to happen when they actually meet the person? Do they even think that far ahead? The wonderful thing is this, that we have a God who loves us just the way we are. We don't have to dress ourselves up to meet with God. We don't have to pretend to be more holy than we really are. We don't have to pretend to be something we're not. God knows us. He knows our faults. He knows our failings. He knows our weaknesses. And he still loves us with an everlasting love. Now, the wonderful thing about God, of course, is while God loves us just the way we are, he loves us too much to leave us just the way we are. And he changes us and he makes us into something better. But you can approach God right as you are and then let him begin to do his work within you and through you, and you will be amazed at who God will make you to be. You don't have to pretend to be better than you are, but God will make you better than you are when he comes into your life. May we walk in his favor and his grace today. Join us again next time for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.